You reach for your phone before your eyes are fully open. It is the first thing you touch. Before water, before light, before your own name settles back into your head. You think this is just a habit you picked up, but the real answer is far stranger, and it starts a very long time before you were born. The brain you woke up with this morning is not a modern brain. It looks modern. It runs your apps, your group chats, your endless scroll, but underneath, it is running software that is roughly 200,000 years old. It was shaped in a world with no screens, no notifications, no infinite content. A world where the most dangerous thing you could face was a predator, and the most valuable thing you could find was another human face. That is the brain you inherited. And then you were born into a world it has never seen before. Think about what your ancestors woke up to. Silence, the sound of wind, maybe 40 faces they would know for their entire lives. Every threat was physical. Every reward was real. If you felt hungry, you found food. If you felt lonely, you walked 10 steps to another person. The gap between wanting something and getting it was small, and it was honest. Now think about what you woke up to. A glowing rectangle holding the entire human species inside it. Thousands of faces before breakfast. Wars on one thumb swipe. A dancing baby on the next. Your ancient threat detection system, built to scan the tree line for a lion, is now scanning a feed engineered to never ever end. Your body does not know the difference. That is the part nobody tells you. When you see something alarming on your screen, your brain releases the same stress chemicals it would release if the danger were standing in the room. Your heart rate climbs, your muscles tense, cortisol floods your system. Your body prepares to run from a threat that is 2,000 miles away and made of pixels. And then you scroll again, and it happens again and again, 100 times before lunch. Have you ever wondered why you feel exhausted after doing nothing all day? Now you know. You have been sprinting from imaginary lions since the moment you opened your eyes. But here is where it gets stranger. Because the world you were born into did not just overwhelm your old brain. It learned how to use it. There was a psychologist named B.F. Skinner. In the middle of the last century, he ran a famous set of experiments with animals and a lever. When the lever gave a reward every single time, the animals lost interest fast. Predictable, boring. But when Skinner made the reward random, when pressing the lever might give nothing or might give everything, something changed. The animals could not stop. They pressed the lever again and again, faster, desperate, hooked. Skinner had discovered that the most powerful way to capture a brain is not a guaranteed reward. It is an unpredictable one. He called it the variable ratio schedule. You call it pulling down to refresh. Every time you pull that feed down, you are pulling Skinner's lever. Maybe there is nothing. Maybe there is a message from someone you love. Maybe there is the funniest thing you will see all week. You do not know. And because you do not know, you cannot stop. The most sophisticated companies in human history hired psychologists who read Skinner, and they built that exact machine into the phone in your hand. Not by accident, on purpose. You were not born addicted. You were born into a machine designed to make your 200,000-year-old brain feel like it is pressing a lever it can never walk away from. And your brain, being a brain, adapts. That is the second thing they don't tell you. A neuroscientist named Michael Merzenich spent his career proving something that sounds like science fiction but is completely real. Your brain physically rewires itself around whatever you do most. Not metaphorically, physically. The pathways you use grow stronger and thicker. The ones you neglect fade. Merzenich showed that the brain is not a fixed machine you are stuck with. It is wet clay, and your daily habits are the hands pressing into it. So ask yourself, what have your hands pressed into your brain? Thousands of hours of short clips, constant switching, a new stimulus every 8 seconds, a reward always one swipe away. Your brain took that pattern and built itself around it, exactly like Merzenich said it would. This is why sitting with a book feels physically difficult now, why a 2-hour film feels like a marathon, why silence feels almost threatening. You did not get lazy. You got rewired, precisely and efficiently, by a world your ancestors could never have imagined. And you are not alone in this. That is the strangest part of all. A psychologist named Jean Twenge studies entire generations. She has data going back decades, millions of young people. And around the year 2012, she noticed something break. That was the year smartphones passed into the majority of hands, and the graphs, which had been mostly steady for a generation, suddenly bent. Loneliness up, sleep down. anxiety climbing in a way she had never seen in all her years of research. Twenge was careful. She is a scientist, but she could not ignore a pattern that sharp appearing in that many lives at exactly the same moment. You were born on one side of that line. You have never known the world on the other side. Think about what that means. You have never known a friendship that lived only in person. You have never known boredom without an exit. You have never known a single hour that could not be interrupted by the entire planet. To you, this is not a change. It is simply water, and you are the fish who has never seen air. But your brain remembers the air. Deep down, in that ancient software, it is still waiting for the world it was built for. There was a researcher named Dunbar who found something beautiful about that old world. He discovered that the human brain can only truly hold about 150 relationships. Real ones, faces you would recognize, people you would help, a village-sized web of genuine connection. That number is carved into the size of your brain itself. It is who you were designed to know. Now count your followers. Count the accounts you see in a single day. Thousands, tens of thousands. Your ancient social brain, built for 150, is trying to process the entire species at once, and it cannot. So it does the only thing it knows how to do. It compares, it ranks, it measures you against every beautiful, successful, curated stranger on Earth. All day, forever. Your ancestors compared themselves to 40 people they knew. You compare yourself to 8 billion you never will. Is it any wonder you feel like you are not enough? You were handed a Stone Age brain and asked to survive in a world it was never built for. That is not a personal failing. That is not weakness. That is a mismatch, ancient and enormous, between the creature you are and the world you were born into. But this is the part that matters. This is the reframe. Knowing this changes everything, because your brain is still wet clay. Merzenich proved it works in both directions. The same rewiring that pulled you toward the screen can pull you back toward the world. Every time you choose the long conversation over the short clip, you are pressing something new into that clay. Every time you sit in boredom, instead of reaching for the exit, you are rebuilding a pathway your ancestors would recognize. Every real face, every quiet hour, every book you finish, you are teaching your 200,000-year-old brain that it is finally, safely home. You are the first generation to be born fully inside the machine. That is a heavy thing to carry, but you are also the first generation to be able to see it clearly, to name it, to understand exactly what it is doing to you and why. Your ancestors could not see the lion in the feed. You can. So tomorrow, when you wake up, you will reach for your phone before your eyes are fully open. But now you will know what you are really reaching for. Not the phone, a 200,000-year-old brain in a brand new world, still searching, the way it always has, for something real,